Let's get into the trenches here. Scott, typically you guys like to buy those momentum names, so let's take a look at some stocks that have retaken their moving averages and kind of what to do with them now. And I think that the best one to start off with here is Potash, up almost 5% last week. What do you do with the stock right now?
Right now I'm long the stock, and I do think that's a good point. A lot of traders or investors have a hard time just playing momentum names, so sometimes you like to buy them on the pullback. What I like to see is I like to see them take back those moving averages. So like you mentioned, POT, if you look at the chart here, this is just taking back all the moving averages. I'm in a tier 1 here. I'm looking to add in pot above 59 for a momentum move because I do think that this stock makes new highs at some point, maybe even before earnings.
Now, from my end, though, I'm a little worried because I got to upgrade last week, so sentiment's kind of positive. So do you need to, as a long-term investor, do you need to kind of wait for that sort of froth or just happiness to come out of the market, I guess?
Well, there's no really froth in POT now.
Okay.
I do think that the stock looks good. I still think that it actually is lagging a little bit, but I think if for a slower type of trade, I like it. I also like CF. CF's another stock that's taking back its moving averages, breaking some descending channels, which I like technically. So for this one also, I was in a tier 1 here. This was your little descending channel. It's starting to break above, and it's above the moving averages. I think this stock can go and make new highs at some point, so I'd rather see you buy it here than be chasing the momentum up there, at least tier 1.
If you had to pick one, would you pick CF because it's up only 2% for the year versus a Potash which is up 11.5%, maybe a better value here for CF?
Well, there's a lot of other ags we're not even talking about,
Yeah.
so I think you don't need to just be in one. You could be in one or two, and I think these are the two that you should be in overall.
And talking about fertilizers, I always go to farming equipment, which always leads me to Deere, because who's to say that farmers are going to make more cash and buy fancy fertilizers? They might just, get new equipment, and it's more of a cyclical play with Deere. Let's go to this. I mean, the plans to double the revenue to $50 billion by 2018. That's huge.
Yes, and technically we talked about Deere and Caterpillar buying the dip, and this was last week in the hole, not playing the momentum. And if you look at Deere, it had a nice move from there. This is when we circled it. This is when we said buy some in the dip. It still looks good. It's taking back some moving averages. I don't think that you miss this trade. I think you can continue to buy Deere. And real quickly, I like Caterpillar. We've talked about it. First time here for the move to new highs. And then this was our buy the dip. And now it's breaking this little descending channel. So I do like this, and I do think you can continue to buy both of these as well.
Let's go to the OIH, up over 4% last week. Same kind of deal. Can you still nibble away here?
Yeah, I do. I would have rather you bought some last week when we talked about it, but it still looks okay. This was your little pivot low. Remember, red dog reversal, break below, come back above. Little bit of a bounce. Has some resistance in front of it. Still needs some more time, but I do like these OIHs. I think this group has a higher place at some point this year, and it's really a stone throw away from those highs.
So when you see the resistance coming up like that, how do you prepare yourself for that?
Well, if just say you bought tier 1 here and tier 2 here, maybe you sell a tier into this, let a little time come out before it breaks to new highs. So, take trades along the way and keep trading the ranges. Don't just add on strength.
And one more super quick stock in this sector. We have oil services. I want to hit on Halliburton, really leading this group here. Is there an entry level in Halliburton right now?
Yeah, Halliburton looks like it's ready to make new highs. Halliburton's been really strong. Take a little, a step back view here, right at those highs. I haven't seen any of these back at new highs so quick. This one's here, so I think you could buy Halliburton above, what's this price, about 50 to 51, still looks good, well above those moving averages.